Greetings, welcome to the Gifted Soul Tarot. I'm going to be reading for Scorpio. I'm going to be doing a career reading. And this reading is for between the 12th and the 19th of April. That again. 12th to the 19th. Thanks for joining me. Please check out my website. And if you can like, comment and subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And give me your feedback. I'd be interested to know what you think of the reading. I'm looking for 7 cards. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think this is very important to do a career reading, especially during these uncertain times of the lockdown and the coronavirus and loss of jobs and not to mention the financial problems we're having, with our provident fund and our pension fund dropping in value in our investments. It's quite a to-do. Our overall message for the reading is the Chariot. It's the overall energy. And the Chariot speaks of our goals, our insight. We need to just press on, not too quickly, but in divine timing. I mean, there's no grounding here. So this guy's pressing on. He's moving. He's trying to get to the goal as quick as possible. But there's a caution here. You need to slow down. It needs to happen, and it'll only happen in divine timing. Right. So we're going to look at Scorpio, and this is Scorpio. This is the Scorpio person. Now this card is it's the 6 of Pentacles. Just take a look at that card. This is from the alchemical tarot deck. That's the symbol on the back of that deck is the rose. It's the 5-petal rose for the 5 senses of man. And there this speaks about giving and receiving. So it looks as if we're giving and we're receiving, and we have a child's mind. We have to have a child's mind to give and also to receive. So it's that give and take, and that's important. As long as we have that give and take aspect, especially in business, especially with our careers, especially with our work situation, even in those that have businesses, those that have are entrepreneurs, you'll know exactly what it is. It's about give and take, especially when you have customers and you've got people working under you and you've got a workforce. You've got to give and you've got to take as well. So I'm going to go on and speak about the factors against the work aspect, the career aspect. And here we have the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles speaks of gathering your fund, you're gathering your money aspect. Being centered around your money aspect, so that you can't see anything else but the money. And I think for some of us, we can't be just focused on money. I understand that you're focused on money because times are tough at the moment, and we now with the business being what it is, and especially with the lockdown, things are particularly difficult. So we can do nothing else but focus on money, especially those that are not working at the moment, those that have lost their jobs. And the businesses are taking a knock, and so are the employees that are working for the employer. So all round it's a difficult one. But this money aspect can cause a big concern. It can cause one to one's physical health to go down as well. So, it's something that we don't want to just focus on the money aspect. We want to focus on other aspects as well, because sometimes that overclouds our judgment, and we don't see things as we ought to. We don't look at things as a whole and look at things in perspective. Now, the past influences, we've got the Lovers card here. That's the Cupid card and the Lovers, and this speaks about love. Now, it could be love for your job, it could be love for your career, it could be love for passionate about your business. Those of you who hold a business, passionate about the work, the type of work we do, the jobs we have, the skills we have gathered. Whether you're in management and you enjoy working with employees, and you've got a whole workforce under you, and whether you're in the marketing department and projects need to be done, and you get a good reaction of having a workforce that you can actually how can I say, you can tell them what to do, when to do it. You're a born leader, and so that's what you enjoy doing. For others, for students, it maybe you're an artist, maybe you enjoy that, maybe you're putting everything you can into your artwork. For entrepreneurs, it's something, maybe you're young and you've now taken on entrepreneurship, where you're going out there and you're trying to get business, and that's also fun, whatever aspect it is. We have a love for what we do, and we've got a love for our job, and that's all fun. And it's good to have a love for your job. As I say, in these tough times now, these tough economic times, when we're going through a recession, things are tough. We can't always stay positive, and so I mean that's a given. On the future side of things, we've got the Knight of Coins. Okay, this shows us that there's some resilience, there's some we're pushing forward, we're carrying on, we do what we're doing, even if we're not, we can't go to our place of work, or we can't go out there and socialize with clients, as if you've got businesses, but we're doing everything from a silo, from a isolated location via a platform of sorts, whether that be, arranging meetings and, having meetings via the virtual platform. That's what we're doing. If it's emails we're responding to, that's what we should be doing. The Knight of Coins is a very stable card. It's a stable, grounded energy. And, for most of us, we like to have our ducks in a row, and we like to be on top of things, so that's going about our business as we would every day, even though we're not, physically at work, some of us. So we're doing it from an isolated silo, which is fine. It's a good energy card. It's a grounding energy card. Now then, for the course of action, we've got the Six of Staffs. Now, the Six of Staffs speaks of to be publicly honored, to be given public honor, and that's for a job well done, or it could be public honor from your clients. You could have done something for them or helped them, via the social media platforms, or phoned them up and given them guidance, given them reassurance that you're attending to their account and you're doing all you can for them, and they respect that. I think that there's a certain amount of respect goes into that, because during this time that we can't have that physical communication. It's important that we communicate and let the clients know that what, this is my business. We are there for you, even though we're limited by what's happening in the world. We're still here for you. In terms of those that are working, that have a normal job, you could be servicing your job very well. You could be attending to your projects and submitting your projects online. Those of you that have people working under you, you're guiding them, and you making sure that the daily work activity gets done and is actioned, so that your boss, their boss, your boss, say, can report back to senior management, so that we have a sort of roster, so we know what we're doing and when we're doing it. So that's been taken care of, and it looks as if most of you are doing a very good job at it, because I see these accolades and these you've been put in public honor, and you know, you've been well respected for it. And, you know, we can only go by how reputable we are and how respected we are at work. And I think that that's been kept by most of us. You know, we keeping that, we're saving face and keeping that going. Also remember, I mean, if you do get that public honour and you are rewarded for doing a job well done, or you know, getting your projects on time, or getting your team leaders' projects in on time, and submitting your board report or whatever the case may be, that's well and good, and you know you're going to get the praise and the honour for it. But just remember that don't boast yourself up, because you know, when you do that, it's a long way down. The drop is quite long. It's quite a way down. So, you know, maintain a level head. Don't, you know, keep your ego away from this matter, and press on as you would normally if you were, you know, showing up for work and you were doing what you needed to do in a corporate office, or, you know, for your company, so to speak. So then we look at the environment and we look at the people, and we've got the Queen of Vessels here. And you see she's carrying that the vessel in her hand, and she's doing so ever so gracefully. So she's attending to her lot, and your people are attending to what they need to be doing. Obviously, it can't be done 100% because of the circumstances, but we're attending to what we can, when we can, and how we can. And yeah, there's still a lot we don't see as we ought to see it because of our current situation. But you know, I think once, you know, this dilemma's over, once COVID's over and, you know, the lockdown phase is out, I think things are going to return to normal, and, you know, we're going to have a handle on exactly what we do. Same as those that have businesses, we're going to get a handle on you know, what we do. So Scorpio, I don't think you have to worry too much about that. Now, on the outcome, I know it's tough times, and I said to you that the factor against the career is to do with money, and you're obsessed with money, and that rings true. Now, this is the Four of Pentacles. You can see, you know, this chap is putting his money into the ground, and he's covering it up, and he's protecting it. He doesn't want to spend a cent. And yeah, I can understand why. I mean, you know, most of us, we don't know when our next paycheck's coming. You know, for those of you that have businesses also, I'm sure, you know, the work's gone down considerably, and yet you've got overheads to pay and what have you. So yeah, you are keeping a handle on the money aspect. But Scorpio, you also need to understand that everything can't be governed via money. You know, you've also got to do what you've got to do. You know, also, you know, you've got to maintain your business, and you've got to maintain your job, and you've got to maintain your entrepreneurship. That's all fine. But I think we've been obsessed. I think this card and this card, the two of them together, talks about an unhealthy obsession with money. Okay, so I think, you know, you just need to pay attention to that. It's no good us worrying about money and, you know, fretting over the money when it's going to do an injustice to our health. So from that aspect, you know, I think we need to ease up. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards now from the Mona Lisa deck. Not oracle cards, sorry, clarity cards, and see what we can ascertain. So let's see what cards come out for Scorpio, the person. Yeah, it's trying times now for business all around. With this pandemic, it's been hellish. Huge amounts of money have been lost, especially to do with, you know, business-wise. And all those folk that have lost their jobs, those ones that have got, that are supporting a family, it can't be easy. I'm just going to move this slightly over so we can see what we're looking at. So that's the clarity card for Scorpio, your person, Scorpio, who you are. That giving and taking, that art of giving and receiving. That beginner's mind, you know, you've got to be like you've got to see things through the eyes of a child. You know, set our ego aside and you know, not become too egotistical and puffed up, you know, when it comes to cash. And that's easier said than done, I must say. Let's see what we can establish for the past influences. You know, the love for the job, the love for your family. You know, you want to see things work out. You want to, you know, go back to normal. You don't know what normal's like. You know, when we've been in lockdown for the next 21 days, nothing seems normal. So it places a huge pressure, especially on those that are, you know, the breadwinner. So what card do we have for our past influences for Scorpio? Past influences for Scorpio. That's a bit too many. Okay. I need a clarification card. Thank you. Right, that's our clarity card. Let's move on to our future now. Prospects for work, for money, for business, for those entrepreneurs, those people out there that are, you know, earning their own living, those that have taken the step to open their company and to, you know, be leaders. Let's see what we have for you. Marry it up to the Knight of Coins, a very stable knight who's watching his investments. He's, you know, particularly grounded, and it's a bother, you know, to watch investments go down, to watch those that are pensioning off, to watch your pension provident fund going down. It's taken a huge knock. The markets are not where they ought to be. Right, let us pull a clarifying card for the course of action, where we've been honoured, where Scorpio has been honoured, and we've received accolades. For those of you businessmen, those of you that have opened small businesses, you know, the youngish people have opened businesses, 20, 30, that age group. Those that are working for a company, white collar people that are earning a salary, that are doing a good job. Thank you. Let's take that one. Let's see what we can find. Let's have a look at the environment and the people we serve, the environment we serve, the people that we're dealing with, you know, on the work front. Let's see the people we're dealing with, you know, in our companies, our clients. What's happening with these people, you know? There's a certain amount of anxiety for them as well. You know, if they're paying for a service and they're not getting, you know, a proper service, it's, you know, they're paying good money. And we can't, you know, accounts can't be tended to unless we've got the manpower. So, you know, the service hasn't been 100%. You know, they haven't been given what they've been paying for of late. But if you're keeping them in the loop, and you know you've got a backup plan, then, you know, that doesn't weigh so heavily on them. Let's see if we can get a clarifying card for Queen of Vessels and our people, the environment, and the people we serve in terms of our business people, those that are in the corporate world. You know, what's going down there? You know, well, the CEOs of companies, what are they doing? You know, how are they keeping the workforce together? How are they keeping the shareholders happy? You know, it's we're in a predicament. It's not easy. See if we can get a clarifying card for the outcome. Thank you. Got that. So as I say, you know, the Scorpio person is, you know, it was weighing heavily on their mind. It's this give and take situation where they've got to be apt to give and take, you know, and that's just not to do with money. It's not just to do with finances. It's to do with, as I say, it's projects. It's looking after those customers. It's for those account managers. It's attending to your clients. It's, you know, those that hold a white collar job in the corporate environment. It's attending to our duties, attending to the projects, and making sure that we fulfill, even though we may not be there, you know, physically there, but, you know, answering emails and, you know, getting in touch with the clients, phoning your boss, you know, sort of not taking a reprieve on meetings that have been scheduled on another platform, where you're in your home but you are part of the meeting, and that type of thing. And you've paired this off. The Six of Pentacles has been paired off with the Strength card, the Leo card. Okay, and that speaks of, you know, having discipline. It speaks of, you know, a Scorpio, the person, getting a handle on this giving and taking, and that's to do with your work, and you know, to do with the business that you're in, and you know, having a certain amount of discipline, you know, being disciplined and knowing, you know, where your parameters are, knowing that you need to attend to what you need to attend to, and the Strength card, the Leo Strength card, it speaks of discipline, and it speaks of intention or invention. So what type are you? Are you going to intend to fulfill this project? Are you going to intend to keep the shareholders happy? Those that hold businesses, are you going to intend to keep your clients happy? Or are you going to actually do something? You know, are you going to invent something? Are you going to put something in place, and you're going to say, you know what, we're not my workforce is not able to get you, but this is what we put in place. You know, you will see me. I'll be visible on this platform, email, Skype. You know, you can set meetings, virtual meetings, that sort of thing. So that's what they want to hear. That's what you need to be imparting to them. You know, to reassure them that things are not going to slide down, because, you know, we're in lockdown. And then the factors against the career, those that one, you know, needs to be attending to. We've got, as I said, we've pulled the 10, which tells us the cycle's been completed. But that's the 10 of Pentacles, where I say there's an overly bearing concern about money that's making us, or could make us, physically ill. You know, it's more being obsessed with the money than the actual money, and it's more of the thought of not having the money that's causing the obsession. That's coupled with the Seven of Chalices, which speaks of every action has consequences. You know, so, you know, maybe you want to, you know, start putting a few business plans in place, and start working around those, and start sort of, you know, and getting your staff involved, and hold these meetings, these virtual meetings, and, you know, start giving some hardcore turnaround to those, you know, senior executives that are waiting for it, or those of you that have businesses. Give back to your client, because, you know, at the end of the day, they're paying you. You know, I'm sure they're paying you a good fee. You know, and they want to know they've been attended to. Past influences, like I say, we've got a love. We have a love for our job. We have a love for our business. We have a love for our entrepreneurship that we've just started, and, you know, we may have a love for our family as well, and we want to, you know, make sure that we keep the bread on the table. And so, you know, this is the Eight of Wands. We've paired it up with the Eight of Wands, and this speaks of, you know, it's one thing for you to be in a good place, but, you know, think of those that are not in a good place. Okay, it's fine to read the right act to them, but, you know, what about? I mean, you're in a good place. What about them? You know, so you sort of like, you know, put yourself in their position, see what you can do to ease their minds. Those workers that are under you, those for those that have businesses, those folk that you've employed, you know, to attend to your business, and, you know, sort of like take that into account. You know, these limited things that can be done now, because of the situation we're faced with. For the future, I say we have the Knight of Coins. You know, this is the grounding energy, and, you know, we want to do that which is right. We want to, you know, proceed forth in our business. We want to, those people that are in white collar jobs, you want to be doing what you're doing. so that the boss, the boss has an idea that you're actually working for your salary, that type of thing. And we are stressing, we are worried about investments, we are worried about our jobs, and then this is paired off with the Queen of Wands, which is telling you cannot action anything if you do not listen. So you need to pay attention, you need to listen, you need to listen up really well now, because now more than ever we need to start delivering, and start giving back to your clients, giving back to the company, and so on and so forth. On the course of action, we pulled the Six of Staffs, where there's that energy, and there's that being exalted, and there's that praise being given, for a job well done, and that type of thing. And it's paired off with the Nine of Pentacles, which speaks of and small gifts, these huge futures. So just that little bit you do can go a long way to keep people that that you can't be seen as you would normally, to keep them happy and say, what, I've been attended to, I feel comfortable, I know so-and-so has got my business, and so-and-so has contacted me, and he's on it, and he's getting things done. And the environment and your people, as I said, we've pulled the Queen of Vessels, which speaks of them carrying the vessel even through tough times. Times are not that easy now, but they still seem to be getting dressed and showing up and doing what they need to be doing. We've paired this off with the Two of Pentacles, which tells of different hungers demand different breeds. What's good for your company is not good for another. So you need to come up with an action plan of how you intend to service your clients, service the shareholders, service your executive management, and you need to pull that all together. So there's a definite on the table it says, it speaks of us doing what we need to do and making that extra effort, and being attentive. I'm going to pull some oracle cards now for extra clarity. Let's look at Scorpio the person. See what we get for Scorpio. Firm foundation. Firm foundation. If you learn the art of giving and receiving, and start doing what you need to do, and even if you're a senior executive, and you start delegating, the art of delegation, and start using that discipline, and start creating as opposed to inventing, come up with ideas and how you're keeping it together while you can't attend to it in person. So foundations are firm if we take action. We don't rest on our laurels and say, oh, you know what, there's nothing that can be done, we're not there. Or we're not there, but we need to make sure that the job gets done. And in terms of the factors against our career, we spoke of money, having that money, worrying about that money, stressing about that money, to an extent where we become ill. Well, that's been paired off with the authority card. So I think if you stop stressing so much, and you start working on servicing your clients, and paying attention to your internal customers, those of you that have jobs, start taking the bull by the horn, and start being responsible and accountable, I think it's half the battle won. Start show that you are still doing, even though you're not there. So I'm going to move this slightly over so you can see what cards we pulled, what cards we're pulling. Now this speaks of your past influences, where I said be overly concerned about the love for the job, and we need to be mindful of the fact that while we're sitting okay, and we're able to sit at home and be getting paid, some of us are not so fortunate. So just pay attention to those folk that are not in a fortunate position. Those ones that are under you, the ones that work, work for you, that are getting a salary, but you know they've also got commitments and things are difficult. So I think if we just focus and take some, you know, apply some intuition and, you know, be supportive of their needs as well, and, you know, tell them that, you know, reassure them that things are going to be all right. If you all work together, that the company will pull through, and, you know, it won't be that affected by what's going down. For the future, I've pulled, we've got the card of movement, choices and decisions. And if you remember, I said, you know, in the future we've got that certain amount of grounding energy where, you know, we stand tall, we stand firm upon what we believe, we understand, you know, there are things that we worry, we're concerned about, our investments, our clients, etc., etc. But you need to listen. You need to listen and, you know, listen to your people that are under you. Listen to those folk, that the customers that are paying your salary and paying your employee salaries. Start listening to them and start making a plan for them, so that you can move forward and make choices and decisions that are just so vital. You know, in times that you can't be at the office, you can't be there in person, but you can do it, you know, via your virtual office. We're going to pull a clarifying card for the course of action. We spoke of, you know, you've been exalted and you're doing a good job, and, you know, people have noticed, are noticing you for the good job you're doing. Let's pull a card for that, and let's just see what comes of that, where we are with this. There you go. It's obstacle and challenges again. So, you know, see what the obstacles are, see where the challenges are. You know, it looks as if you're going to have a handle on this, because, you know, your communication skills are good. The way that you're going to be communicating, the way that you're going to be putting the clients first, and the way that you're going to be handling things virtually is going to make all the difference. And, you know, it'll eliminate the obstacle and challenges, and we'll work towards the movement and choices and decisions. So now we're going to pull a card for the people we spoke about. As I said, you know, we're doing what we need to be doing, and we've got where we made mention of different hungers demand different breeds. That's all fine, and we've got the clarity card as the base chakra. Now the base chakra is the root chakra. It's your grounding energy. It's this energy here, the same energy as the Knight of Coins. So, you know, when that grounding energy, when our root chakra is in alignment, it takes care of our grounding energy, it takes care of our controls, it controls your legs, your intestines, it controls your feet and your bones and things like that. So it's really important, so that we don't get overly concerned about money and, you know, go off on another tangent and become ill. And that's where we've got, you know, these problems to attend to, where we start getting ill and sickly, where we no good to man or beast. So you know, that's important to keep your root chakra open and grounded and you know, not blocked. Because if you have blockages in that area, it leads to fear, paranoia, you procrastinate, you can't make decisions, you're defensive, and that type of thing. So, you know, also do a bit of meditation. That can also help, you know, keep your root chakra balanced. And on the outcome side, I just want to put a clarifying card for the outcome. See where we stand with the outcome in any situation. Okay, it doesn't look like such a great card that we've been given. As we spoke about money, the outcome, we overly concerned about our finances, our investments, and money. We're putting money away because we don't know where the next, you know, a lot of money is coming from. We pair that with the Knave of Pentacles, which speaks of miracles do happen. Miracles can happen. So it's not off the table completely. But I think it's the way we strategize and the way we, look at things now that's going to make all the difference. And if we do that, we strategize and we do what we ought to be doing, and we're not so, concerned about money, we're going to lose we're going to lose that emotional loss, and even if we do lose a bit of, and I'm sure there's lots of folk that have lost millions and billions of rand over this period, but, we won't be so badly affected. At least we'll be able to salvage what we can. So that's all I've got for you now, Scorpio. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and let me know how this resonated with you, and I'll pick you up in the next video.